Hello everyone, this is part 16 of What If Naruto Had the Ultimate Dojutsu, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Naruto yelled at Kimimaro with his Chidori blazing in his hand. He was losing time to catch up to Sasuke and the blonde wasn't having the damned emo get away from him. Move! Naruto yelled and in a swift motion he s the Chidori into Kimimaro. The blonde widened his eyes when he saw the enemy nin blocked his attack with what Naruto saw as an arm full of bones, making the blonde narrow his eyes at Kimimaro. Kyuubi-chan, what is that? Naruto asked and Kyuubi looked at the sound shinobi in his arm. That's a Kaguya clan member. They were notorious Kekai Genkai users. Their bones were quite unique. If lost, then their bones can replace others in an instant. I remember their clan being wiped out due to too many wars to expand their power. I never thought I'd see another one, Kyuubi said, and Naruto turned to Kimimaro with an eye of interest. Well, looks like you're more tough than I thought, Databayo. But I'm not done with you, Naruto said as he crossed his fingers. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto yelled and immediately dozens of clones came and Kimimaro took on a defense taijutsu stance. There's quite a number of clones, Kimimaro thought to himself. If nothing else, then he had to admit that Naruto was interesting with how much chakra the blonde had. One Naruto clone stepped forward and cracked his knuckles. Charge! The clone yelled as everyone ran with him. Kimimaro narrowed his eyes and soon he was overwhelmed by the number of clones, or so it seemed. Tsubaki no Mai, Dance of Camellia, Kimimaro said, and immediately the clones started vanishing out as Kimimaro used a long bone sword and with his swift movements he tore through the clones with little to no difficulty at all. To Naruto it only attested to Kimimaro's true abilities as a shinobi, and the blonde did have to respect that much, but now wasn't the time for this. It was then that Naruto noticed Kimimaro closing in on him and the blonde was about to counter, but before long sand came between the two, making Naruto and Kimimaro back up. Naruto turned to see who the wise guy was that interrupted their fight, but suddenly he smiled. He knew only one person who used sand other than him. Gaara. Naruto, while Gaara walked up to him. It's not like you to stall, Naruto Uzumaki. You go ahead. I'll take care of him, Gaara said, making Naruto chuckle. Kimimaro and Gaara wondered why the blonde was able to laugh when time was of the essence for them. Oh, I already left. I'm just a Chi Bunshin. I left quite a while ago, Naruto said, making Kimimaro narrow his eyes. When did Naruto pass him? He wasn't sure, but it hardly mattered right now. Now was the time to take on Gaara and Naruto's Chi Bunshin at once. Well, Hen, you should dispel. I'll take care of this, Gaara said to him, but the Naruto clone wasn't about to have that. This was his fight just as much as Gaara's, and somewhere Naruto knew Kimimaro wasn't an all-around bad guy just mixed with bad company. Sorry Gaara, but I'm not moving back. You want to know why? Because I'm gonna show Kimimaro something important, Naruto said, making Gaara narrow his eyes. Kimimaro raised an eyebrow, but didn't dwell on it and then dashed at Naruto. Gaara moved in front of the blonde and with a swift hand movement he controlled his sand to block the attack. Naruto grinned and decided to surprise Gaara with his ability. The blonde's hands touched the ground and the sand under it swirled around. Gaara, move, Naruto said, and Gaara turned his head to see Naruto gripping the ground tightly like he was trying to hold it, but that's not what the blonde was doing. He was controlling it or bring it up to fight for him. Naruto grinned and shot his hand upward. Immediately his sand followed it made Kimimaro back up to avoid getting hit. The sand regressed to the ground while Gaara looked at Naruto in some confusion. I'll explain later, Naruto said with his Shinseinigan flaring. The blonde raised his hands and Gaara moved behind him. The sand began to shake and crumble around the entire field as Naruto concentrated on his chakra, but unfortunately Kimimaro wasn't going to let the blonde finish. He dashed for Naruto and was about to strike the blonde down, but Gaara moved his sand in front of Naruto, blocking the attack, making the Naruto clone smile at him. Thanks Gaara, I'll be done in a few minutes, Naruto said, moving through his hand signs as fast as he could. Gaara in the meantime distracted Kimimaro with his sand as the bone user dodged left and right trying to evade the sands. You're both good, but it's time to end this pointlessness, Kimimaro said and sent multiple heavily dense bones at the two. Gaara blocked them all with his sand, but it was tough as the bones were breaking through the weak points of Gaara's sand. Are you done, Naruto Uzumaki? Gaara asked and Naruto nodded. He was more than done and he had to thank Gaara for it. Yeah, now I'll show him what I got, Databayo, the Naruto clone said. He could only hope that his real self had caught up with Sasuke and was keeping him contained. With the real Naruto, Naruto raced through the trees at a fast pace to catch up to Sasuke. This was such a load of crap. If Kimimaro hadn't been distracted by those clones in order for Naruto to make the switch, then it wouldn't have worked. He also had to thank Kami for Gaara getting there when he did. Sasuke, is power really that important to you? Naruto wondered, and before long he quickly exited the trees and came to a valley. He stared in slight awe at the place. The blonde saw the statues of the first Hokage, Senju Hashirama, and the most powerful Uchiha, Madara. The place where the founders of Konoha met, fought, and allied. However, Naruto couldn't take in the scenery long until he saw Sasuke on top of the Madara statue's head. The blonde narrowed his eyes and instantly jumped down while yelling at the brunette Uchiha. Sasuke! Naruto yelled out, making the Uchiha turn around. Naruto widened his eyes when he saw Sasuke's face half covered in the curse mark. The blonde growled while Sasuke gave an arrogant smirk. Well, if it isn't the loser. It's amazing what someone like you can accomplish when you have the Sharingan, huh? I bet you'd still be the same old loser that you always were if you didn't have my clan Dojutsu, Sasuke said, and Naruto gritted his teeth even more. He knew it was stupid to wonder it, but was Sasuke really that arrogant about his clan? Receiving no answer to his question, Sasuke smirked and walked off while Naruto stayed still. If only for a moment. The blonde added chakra to his feet and quickly jumped in the air, then quickly dashed for Sasuke. It didn't take long before the blonde Sasuke into the ground and grabbed his collar. You think you're so damn special, huh? You think you can get away with anything and it will be alright? I'll tell you something, Sasuke, your clan would be ashamed of you right now. Naruto yelled, and instantly Sasuke fumed. No one talked about him and his clan, and no one told him what they would think of him. What the hell do you know? You're not an Uchiha. You wouldn't know how I feel. You're just a damn. Naruto lost and instantly punched Sasuke across the face. Sasuke coughed up some B while the blonde punched the Uchiha again. Wake the F up, Naruto said between each hit, making Sasuke try to wake up from his arrogance. The blonde Sasuke into the ground and lifted him up by the collar of his shirt. You're so pathetic. Sakura cried about you. She wants you home. Are you really planning on wasting your life on this stupid thing you call revenge? What happens after that? I doubt Konoha's gonna easily accept you back just because you want it. Naruto yelled, and immediately the blonde was in the face, knocking him off his body. Naruto back flipped through the air and landed on his feet. The blonde wiped his chin and gritted his teeth, but saw Sasuke pull out a kunai. Naruto grabbed a kunai from his pouch and threw it at Sasuke. Sasuke did the same thing, and the two kunai collided with each other and fell down to the waters below them. Naruto jumped back into the air and exchanged blows with Sasuke in midair. Naruto had to admit that Sasuke had matured with his Sharingan. Sasuke was still holding back all that he knew, but then again so was Naruto. The blonde threw out a punch and Sasuke countered with his own. Sasuke's eyes moved fast to anticipate Naruto, since despite his words, he knew how strong Naruto could be, so he had to be quick, or if possible even faster than Naruto. Sasuke managed to break into Naruto's guard and gave the blonde a hard kick, sending him back. I'm not done with you, Dobe, Sasuke yelled, and while reaching into his pouch he pulled out 3 kunai and some wires. He threw them at Naruto and immediately tied the blonde to a tree. Naruto cursed while Sasuke did his hand signs. Kaiten, Ruka no Jutsu, Sasuke yelled, making the fire glide along the wire and aim for Naruto. The blonde narrowed his eyes at the impending fire and looked at the ground. He focused his chakra into the dirt and made it shoot over him, making it collide with the fire. Sasuke sucked his teeth and backed away while standing on top of the Shodime's head. Is that all, Dobe? You're a Tokubutsu Jonin. Yeah, right. You don't know who you're messing with. Sasuke yelled, and Naruto's hair covered his eyes. The blonde looked at the ground and balled his fists. Alright, so Sasuke wanted to play hard. Well, Naruto could play just fine. Naruto cracked his knuckles and took out his fire sword. Fine Sasuke. I'll kick your all across this damn valley. Naruto, and immediately he appeared behind Sasuke in a flash of yellow lightning. Sasuke widened his eyes when he saw Naruto's fire sword flare up. The blonde forward with the intent to kill Sasuke, but the Uchiha managed to dodge thanks to him anticipating the strike. Naruto really had to start his training with his mother in the use of swords, or this wasn't going to go well for him as a kenjutsu user. Sasuke did a somersault in the air and managed to hit Naruto and spiral the blonde into the water. Sasuke grinned at his speed, but he had no idea what Naruto had in store for him. Naruto waded underneath the water and the blonde sighed. Sasuke must have really been training under Genma, or this wouldn't be happening. Sasuke wasn't this fast nor this much of a problem. Frankly, to Naruto, he could easily end this with the Amaterasu, but then again he had to bring Sasuke back alive, or rather in a conscious state at least. Well, he could always bring Sasuke back, but then there was the whole council thing, then the Sakura never shutting up thing. It might have been better for his life if Sasuke was just alive, he figured. Kyubi-chan, any ideas on how I can end this fast? Naruto asked while still in the water. Kyubi rested in her room and sighed. Well, there are multiple ways you could end this fast. It's not really that hard, so just go with it, Kyubi said, and Naruto nodded. The blonde held out his hand and quickly with his other hand began to form the Rasengan in his hand. He quickly did it as fast as he could and the blue sphere started to take form. Also, since he was in the water, Naruto noticed that the swirling of his Rasengan was making the waters around him swirl. It was then that the blonde had an idea. Naruto-kun, what's that grin? You're not going to do something stupid, are you? Kyubi asked. Naruto's grin only got bigger as the blonde swam lower into the water. Air wasn't an issue right now, so it could wait. When the blonde got low enough, he quickly formed the newest addition to his Rasengan arsenal. The blonde held out his right hand again. He focused all his power into the Rasengan and watched as it changed from the blue that it was to a simple white color. Maybe it was gray, but that didn't matter right now. Tokatsu Rasengan, frozen Rasengan, Naruto yelled, and immediately the water started to twist and turn violently in the form of a whirlpool. Naruto grinned as he just created a new Suten jutsu courtesy of his mother's home in Izu no Kuni. Suten, Kairu Daikonran, water release, ocean current maelstrom, Naruto yelled as the ocean began to twist and turn. Meanwhile, Sasuke was looking down at the water waiting for Naruto to emerge, but then he saw the tides twist and turn in a violent shape and Sasuke was ready for anything, but he wasn't ready for when Naruto instantly appeared behind him with a grin on his face. The blonde went and Sasuke in the stomach, sending the brunette Uchiha into the raging whirlpool. Sasuke gasped as he headed for the raging waters and tried to send chakra to his feet to stay on top, but the water was too fast and too strong as it pulled the Uchiha underneath. Naruto grinned with a sense of pride and decided to have some more fun. Naruto went through some more hand signs. It was time to heat things up. Kaiten, Garuryu no Honu, fire release, wolf passing dragon flame, Naruto yelled, blowing a fierce fire into the water. The mixture of heat and cold created a very thick mist, but that wasn't what Naruto was aiming for. No, it was something much worse. Sasuke coughed and struggled against the strong current of the waves that crashed at him as he was tossed and turned. He had to use all his energy just to stay afloat. Sasuke cursed and tried to get out, but his struggles were making this a lot tougher, but it was then that the water started to heat up. A lot. It was even to the point of burning. What the hell? Sasuke wondered, and then he heard Naruto yelled at the top of his voice. How's the water, Sasuke? I heated it up for you. Stay in there too long and it's not just your end that's gonna have a mark on it, Naruto said, and immediately Sasuke panicked. He threw out a kunai and attached it to some wire. Twirling the kunai, he flung it to a ledge and the Uchiha immediately got out of the water while his clothes dripped in their wetness. Sasuke still couldn't see because of the mist and he really wanted to find Naruto and kick his A for playing that damn trick on him. After some time the waters stopped raging enough for Sasuke to stand back on the water. Naruto appeared on the water also and the two stared at each other. Always getting in my way, you never learn, Dobe. I'll make you pay, Sasuke said as he went through the hand signs that Naruto recognized all too well. Sasuke gripped his left and it cackled loudly with the sound of birds. Naruto narrowed his eyes and did the same hand signs. He clutched his right hand and made it cackle also. The two shinobi stared each other off, looking with their respective dojutsu flaring. The two immediately charged at each other with the destinies on the line. With Gaara and the Naruto clone. Gaara and the B Naruto clone managed to contain Kimimaro for a while. It turned out that the B clone had been making the hand signs for his new sand jutsu. It was designed to basically to create a giant sand kitsune that would engulf Kimimaro and keep him restrained, but it turns out that the bone user used his second stage curse mark, which made him look like some sort of humanoid dinosaur. Any ideas, Gaara? Naruto asked, and Gaara looked impassively at Kimimaro. Naruto turned to him and sighed, but it was then that Gaara responded. Only one for right now. It requires a large amount of chakra, so keep him busy for me, Gaara said, going through his hand signs. Naruto nodded and quickly moved his sand to go after Kimimaro. It was easy to see that the sound nin easily dodged all his moves. The blonde gritted his teeth at trying to catch Kimimaro, but then sighed. He closed his eyes for a second from the simple strain of using them and looked at his left arm. He touched it weirdly before turning back to Kimimaro. Tell me, why do you serve Orochimaru? Naruto asked, making Gaara look at him before turning to Kimimaro. The sound nin looked at Naruto, and while his face didn't show it, he was confused by the sudden question. Why should it matter to you? Lord Orochimaru is my master. I am more than willing to s for him. I will do anything he asks of me, Kimimaro said, and the Naruto clone narrowed his eyes. So if he decided to throw you aside, you wouldn't complain, right? Naruto asked. Kimimaro looked at the ground and hesitantly nodded in an affirmative. Naruto noticed the wandering look in his eyes, but ignored it for the time being. So why serve someone who will abandon you? Naruto asked. Kimimaro looked Naruto in his eyes and never strayed from them. Because Orochimaru-sama gave me a purpose. I had nothing when I was little. He gave me a reason to live. He said he wanted me to help him with his ambition. Sasuke will go to Orochimaru, because he wants power, and power is something that Orochimaru-sama will give him. It must be nice, to never have to worry about anything. You must be oblivious to the troubles of the world, Kimimaro said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. Oh, I know troubles, but unlike you, I actually did something about it. I worked hard to change people's views about me, Naruto said, though he grumbled that most of it was due to him being the Yondaim's son, but that was beside the point at the moment. So now that Sasuke's left, then you're purposeless, right? Naruto asked, but Kimimaro was tired of the questions and dashed at Naruto. The blonde widened his eyes and immediately went to intercepted Kimimaro. He had his eyes closed, and before long they flared with the Byakugan. Kimimaro didn't stop, but Naruto was on him. The blonde shifted his stance and moved his feet apart. Kimimaro was a mere foot away from Naruto before the blonde grinned. You're in the zone of my 8 trigrams, Naruto said, and before Kimimaro could react, Naruto hit him 2 times, then 4, then 8, then 16, 32 and then 64. Hakarokujuyan show, Naruto yelled, sending Kimimaro flying back a few feet. Gaara was done with his hand signs and Naruto moved back. Yusa Bakuryu, sand tsunami, Gaara yelled, and immediately a giant wave of sand came from the ground in the form of an actual tidal wave that made Kimimaro widen his eyes. He tried his best to dodge the incoming sand, but it quickly overwhelmed him and engulfed the bone user into its contents. Gaara narrowed his eyes and the ground. Sabaku Taiso, giant sand burial, Gaara yelled, making the sand cushion and crushed the ground beneath it in a violent burst of shaking. Naruto decided to assist Gaara and did his own hand signs. Kaiten, Hokayu no Jutsu, fire release, Great Phoenix Ball Jutsu, Naruto yelled, sending the massive fire crashing into the sand, making it explode from the intense heat. The two Jinchuriki looked closely at the destroyed field and sighed. He's not down, is he? Naruto asked, and Gaara shook his head. As if on cue, Kimimaro shot up from the air and dashed for Naruto and Gaara with the massive bone drill on his arm spinning violently. Tesenka no Mai, Dance of the Clematis Flower, Kimimaro yelled as he aimed for Gaara. The sand Jinchuriki widened his eyes as he didn't have the time to react, but what came next was unexpected. Naruto jumped in front of Gaara and took the hit, much to Gaara and Kimimaro's surprise. Naruto grinned and winced at the pain. It was then that Kimimaro widened his eyes at what he saw. He was looking at Naruto blocking his arm with his own arm, but that arm was full of bones that blocked his attack. If Kimimaro was shocked, he didn't show it, but he was shocked. Your bones are tough. I think you said they're tougher than steel, so I figured it was the best defense. Looks like I just made it in time. How do you have my bloodline? I've never heard of such a thing. And I know you're not a Kaguya, Kimimaro said, and in all honesty Gaara wanted to know also. First it was his sand and now this. It was beyond confusing. Like I'd tell you that. If you want to know then you'll know when I take you back to Konoha for interrogation, Naruto said, and Kimimaro narrowed his eyes. Gaara gave a small, unnoticeable smile across his face. It was then that the Naruto clone got an idea and grinned. Gaara, how long can you restrain him? Naruto asked. Gaara raised an eyebrow, while his sand swirled around. A few seconds, maybe less. What are you going to do? Gaara asked. Naruto's grin got bigger and he told Gaara his plan. The redhead widened his eyes while Kimimaro looked at them with no emotion. It's useless to strategize. You will both here anyway, Kimimaro said to them. The bone user was completely unaware that Gaara's sand managed to snake around his two legs, keeping him locked in place. It was then that Naruto dashed forward to get near Kimimaro, but the bone user tried to swing his bone drill at the blonde. Naruto, however, saw it coming and dodged it. Then, mere inches from Kimimaro's face, the blonde looked straight into the bone user's eyes, and the last thing Kimimaro saw was Naruto's Mangekyo Sharingan. The world around Kimimaro took a weird turn as he found himself in the dark. Along with him stood Naruto, and the blonde simply grinned. Kimimaro narrowed his eyes and dashed off at Naruto, and with a quick strike he pierced the blonde's sea. To his surprise, Naruto disappeared, and in his place was a fire that took out Kimimaro's right arm. Naruto appeared behind him and grinned. This is the Tsukuyomi Kimimaro. Just like Itachi Uchiha, I can control time for the next 72 hours. I don't think you need to know what I could do to you if you when you're trapped in here, Naruto said, and Kimimaro glared at the blonde. Naruto sat on the ground, and before long a simple landscape appeared in front of the two shinobi. Naruto laid on the ground while Kimimaro cautiously kept his distance from the blonde. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're cautious of me or not. You're not leaving here for 72 hours my time, so you can either fight and get burned to a crisp, or you can just relax for a bit and we can talk this out, Naruto said to him. Kimimaro glared at Naruto a little more and tried to figure out the blonde's game, but he did see the truth in Naruto's words. He had been trapped in the genjutsu and he was at the blonde's mercy at the moment, so Kimimaro did just what Naruto told him. He sat down, but still kept his eye on the blonde Tokubutsu Jonin. With the real Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke huffed as they exchanged blows. Right now Naruto had to curse the fact that he had a chi bunshin out and the fact that whatever that clone was doing, it was damn chakra exhausting. Naruto could feel his movements getting slower than Sasuke. That Chidori duel that had really took a bit from Naruto, but the blonde would be damned if Sasuke beat him at something, so Naruto persisted through it all. Sasuke's curse mark had engulfed the left half of his face and the Uchiha grinned. This would be so much more better than he ever imagined. Sasuke kicked Naruto across the water, making the blonde skid back. Naruto grinned and wiped his cheek. Not bad team, Naruto said, and Sasuke grinned. It would be so much more than that. That's right, dope. I'm gonna make you regret coming after me, Sasuke said as he dashed at Naruto. The blonde did the same and the two quickly exchanged blows while their dojutsu locked eyes with each other. The Sharingan against the Shinseinigan. Naruto managed to block all of Sasuke's punches and kicks this time as he counter with his own. Sasuke was getting pushed back fast as he wondered why Naruto was stronger than him. Genma had been training the Uchiha constantly, and Sasuke was at least convinced that Genma wasn't a worthless Jonin like Kakashi with his stupid teamwork aspects. In the constant barrage of punches and kicks, Naruto's Sasuke in the face, making the Uchiha bounce across the water like a rock being skipped until Sasuke disappeared into the waters below. Naruto huffed and he wiped his brow. This really wasn't good for him. His use of the Hiraishin to help catch up had drained him quite a bit. His fight with Kimimaro was and still is causing him to lose chakra, and the fight with Sasuke was taking longer than he wanted. Naruto wanted to use the Tsukuyomi on Sasuke and simply make the Uchiha pass out, but that probably wasn't a good idea for him at the moment. Naruto-kun, I know what your clone is doing. It used the sand to cooperate with the Ichibi Jinchuriki. He also has Kimimaro trapped in the Tsukuyomi. That's why it's so chakra taxing on you, Kyubi said, making her presence known. Naruto cursed and sighed. That was just perfect. Naruto was soon brought out of his stupor when he saw a giant fireball launch at him and the blonde gasped then dodged with it burning some of his hair. Sasuke appeared behind Naruto and kicked him into the air. The blonde knew what was coming and quickly turned around. Sasuke grinned and immediately Naruto was shocked when Sasuke grabbed him and wrapped his legs around Naruto n. Hayabusa Otoshi, Falcon Drop, Sasuke yelled and Naruto headfirst into the ground. He huffed and threw Naruto's body into the water where it floated for a bit. Kyuubi-chan. You'll hate me, but I need your chakra. I'll deal with the consequences, but I really need it now, Naruto said mentally and Kyuubi narrowed her eyes. She knew that Naruto knew about the effects of using her chakra, but she could see he had a point. With the chakra he used just to catch up to Sasuke, it was no wonder that the blonde was at least winded and the fight over with Kimimaro wasn't helping either. Fine Naruto-kun. I make this an exception just this once. Take it, Kyuubi said and immediately Naruto's eyes grew red. Red chakra flowed out of his body and Sasuke narrowed his eyes at the sight. Naruto grinned and stood to his feet. Alright Sasuke, I've had it with you. By the time I'm done with you, even Sakura won't want to be with you. Naruto roared making the water twist and turn again. Sasuke felt the amazing pressure of Naruto's chakra and the blonde dashed forward and immediately he Sasuke in the stomach making him fall to the ground. Naruto grabbed Sasuke's collar and lifted him into the air. Sasuke gritted his teeth and tried to swing his fist at Naruto, but the blonde easily dodged it and his fist back. You're coming back, even if I have to break every last bone in your body. Naruto yelled as he pushed Sasuke hard across the water and into the surrounding rocks. Sasuke coughed and slid to the ground. He felt like his jaw got dislocated, but it wasn't. The Uchiha quickly stood to his feet and gritted his teeth. Then just try it. You think you're so special? Well, I'm more special than you. Sasuke yelled as his curse mark covered his body. Naruto narrowed his eyes as he saw Sasuke's hair grow longer and light gray. His skin was a little darker and his sprouted wings from his back. Naruto widened his eyes before snarling. Sasuke went through his hand sign and let out a large breath of air. Kaiten, Ruka no Jutsu, Fire Release, Dragon Fire Jutsu, Sasuke yelled sending the fire at Naruto. The blonde narrowed his eyes at the incoming fire and brought his hands together. Raiten, Kaminari Cage, Lightning Release, Thunder Shadow, Naruto yelled and immediately lightning came from the sky and intercepted the fierce fire blinding Naruto and Sasuke to the intense explosion. The explosion was closest to Naruto so Sasuke grinned. Take that dope, Sasuke said, but in the middle of it all Sasuke widened his eyes when he saw Naruto's form in the smoke and the blonde was doing more hand signs. Naruto gripped his right with the Chidori, but then he held out his left hand. Now this was different for him, but he wanted to try it so he did. A small swirl began in Naruto's left hand and the blonde smiled. Chidori in the right hand. Rasengan in the left, Naruto said as the swirling and cackling of the two jutsus raged on Naruto's hands. They were both powered by Kyuubi's chakra making the Rasengan purplish and the Chidori purplish also. Sasuke cursed and quickly went through his own hand signs. Chidori, Sasuke yelled as the cackling raged around his arm. It was so different from the regular since it was turning into blackish color. Naruto and Sasuke glared at each other and soon the two dashed for each other. Naruto. Sasuke yelled. Sasuke. Naruto yelled out. The two clashed with their respective attacks as a giant explosion came across the battlefield. Inside the Tsukuyomi, Naruto and Kimimaro were simply enjoying the peace that Naruto was giving them both. Well, Naruto was. Kimimaro was still tense about the whole thing and Naruto sighed. Would you lighten up? I'm not gonna attack you and you're not stupid enough to attack me while we're in here. What's your problem? Naruto asked. Kimimaro narrowed his own eyes and looked at the blonde like he lost his mind. Namikaze-san, in case you forgot we are enemies. That's my problem if you must know, Kimimaro said and Naruto figured that was the case. It was then that the blonde wondered if things were that sea and dry. Well fine then. We can fight and then you can Naruto said like it was the simplest thing in the world. Kimimaro looked at him then down at the ground. It doesn't matter. I'll soon enough and my purpose to Orochimaru-sama will have ended, Kimimaro said and Naruto widened his eyes. He turned to Kimimaro with a look of seriousness. What do you mean you'll soon? You look fine, Naruto said, and Kimimuro's eyes changed from a look of sternness to one of slight appreciation for Naruto's concern, though it wasn't needed. I have a disease that is destroying me. It will take my life soon. I've been on some medication, but it only stalls. I don't think there is a cure for it, Kimimuro said, and Naruto looked at him before looking back to the field. So why are you wasting the rest of your life serving that pedo? You should find your own reason for living, Naruto said, and Kimimuro shrugged his shoulders. Orochimaru-sama is my reason for living. I need no other reason, Kimimuro said to Naruto, and the blonde sighed again. So if Orochimaru casts you aside to S without a care in the world, you simply would? Naruto asked. Kimimuro immediately nodded in an affirmative. Naruto dropped his jaw at how fast Kimimuro responded to that. You know, you remind me of Haku. She was like you when I first met her too, Naruto said, making Kimimuro raise an eyebrow at him. Naruto gave a small smile and chuckled soon after. She told me about her mother and father. How they because of the Kiri bloodline purges. She found Zabuza, and like you, she thought she was only a tool to be used. I told her that the only way you can show respect to someone for saving your life is to live your life the way you should and hold no regrets, Naruto said to Kimimuro. The bone user looked at the ground like he was having trouble contemplating Naruto's words. Lord Orochimaru saved me from my lonely life. It's not so easy to simply move on like that, Kimimuro said, and then Naruto chuckled, which turned into a laugh. Kimimuro wondered what was so funny as he turned to Naruto. No one's saying that it has to be simple. I've been saved by a lot of people my entire life and I do owe my life to them, but I'm not their tool. I live my life just like they do, and so should you, Naruto said, and Kimimuro slightly widened his eyes. These were the words he should have heard when he was a kid, and he was slightly moved by Naruto's words. I at least think that you should live for someone different. Why is living for yourself such a hard concept for you? Naruto asked. Kimimuro looked at him sternly for a second, but he couldn't hold that look. Maybe I'm just too weak. Maybe that's why Lord Orochimaru sent me here. So I wouldn't be a bother to him anymore. With my disease, I guess it was only a matter of time, Kimimuro thought as he looked down to the ground again. He seemed to be doing that a lot. Exactly. He abandoned you when you were sent to get Sasuke. So with that, you're free of him. Once you abandon something, you can't get it back. Same goes with Orochimaru. Kimimuro-san, you should come back with me to Konoha. I can tell you're not a bad person, so stop hanging around bad people, Naruto said, and immediately Kimimuro shook his head. I must decline, Namikaze-san. I have far too many crimes, being one of Orochimaru's elite guards. Plus, my disease will end my life soon enough, if not in the next hour or so. There is nothing you can do for me, Kimimuro said, and before long Naruto stood to his feet and turned to Kimimuro. If you're worried about those crimes, then just provide us with intel on Orochimaru and Tsunade Barkan will do something about that, and about your disease I'll personally request that she help you. She's considered the greatest healer, so I'm sure she can do something for you, Naruto said, and Kimimuro unknowingly smiled at the mysterious blonde in front of him. Somewhere down this conversation both forgot the line between being enemies and actually started to talk. Why would you go so far for me? We're enemies and yet you're doing all these things for me. Why? Kimimuro asked, and Naruto chuckled before he laid back on the grass again. I hate to see good people with wrong people. You know it, I know, we both know it, so let's just go with it, Naruto said, and Kimimuro gave a grin. It was a small one, but a true grin. And besides, when you come back you'll be placed under my protection since I'm the head of the Namikaze compound. No doubt I'll be giving Tsunade Barkan more paperwork, but it's alright, Naruto said with his trademark grin. Kimimuro looked at Naruto and then at the fake sky. You're strange, you know that? Kimimuro asked, making Naruto chuckle. I suppose I am, Naruto said, and before long the blonde noticed his Tsukuyomi ending, not to mention he felt weak. Kimimuro noticed and turned to his new reason for living. It might have been sudden for him, but he figured Naruto would be a much better master than Orochimaru, and if all went well, then Kimimuro could serve Naruto for a long time. Namikaze-sama, what's wrong? Kimimuro asked, making Naruto look at him with a glare. Not you too. Sigh. It looks like I passed out. Used too much damn chakra to catch up to you and the team. Do you know how hard it is to fight someone without them? Damn emo. Well, Kimimuro, if you really want to change, then I'll take you. If Orochimaru can't see your usefulness, then I see it. Time to choose Kimimaro, Naruto said and then disappeared. They hadn't even been in the Tsukuyomi for 36 hours yet. Only about 20 hours had passed. The Tsukuyomi broke and the Naruto B clone dissolved into the ground. Gaara watched as the Naruto clone disappeared and the sand around Kimimaro vanished. It wasn't long before the bone user was conscious and got his eyes adjusted to the sunlight. The Tsukuyomi felt so real to him, but that wasn't the point right now. Kimimaro noticed Gaara looking at him cautiously, then he looked at the bee on the ground. Naruto-san, Kimimaro said in a rush and dashed off in a hurry. Gaara was left in the field until everything caught up with him. He dashed off after Kimimaro towards Naruto's position. With Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto huffed as he looked at Sasuke's unconscious form. The blonde chuckled when he knew that he had the more power in his technique. Naruto grinned and grabbed Sasuke, then flung the Uchiha over his shoulder. Damn making us come all the way out here after you. Now to begin the damn long trip of carrying you back. I'd iteration if I had the chakra to use it, which I don't because of you, Naruto said with a smile. He was about to walk off, but his vision was hazy and soon the blonde dropped to the ground. Okay, maybe that was a bit more chakra than I thought, Naruto said as he forced himself to stay conscious. However, luck wasn't on his side as he heard some chuckling at him. Naruto narrowed his eyes and didn't even have to turn around to know the pain in the ear that just showed up. It seems I was wrong about you, Naruto. To beat Sasuke you must have some ninja talent, the person said, and Naruto sighed. Well, I am a Tokubutsu Jonin. So Kabuto, I take it Orochimaru was too late to get his boy toy, Naruto said as he turned to see Kabuto walking up to him. It's a shame that Orochimaru-sama couldn't Sasuke in time, but the Uchiha will be in Orochimaru-sama's possession. Now I hate to be here longer than I should, but hand over Sasuke right now and I promise to at least bury you when Kabuto said adjusting his glasses. Naruto cursed his luck of being tired. Hell, he was even too tired to even try and get Kyuubi. It was then that Naruto made it apparent to L that damn seal off Kyuubi's cage so this kind of thing would stop happening, but that was beside the point right now. I don't think so, Kabuto team. This is coming back with me, and if you don't like it, well then tough, Naruto said, and Kabuto chuckled at him. You think you're in a position to do anything? You can barely stay conscious, let alone stand up. It would be so easy to dispose of you and take Sasuke to Orochimaru-sama right now, Kabuto said, making a chakra blade. Naruto narrowed his eyes and gritted his teeth before giving a painful grin. Then what are you waiting for? Naruto asked, and Kabuto charged at the blonde. Naruto was exhausted and his chakra was nearly gone. He really had no way of getting out, and the blonde closed his eyes. Naruto-san. Naruto opened his eyes and saw Kimimaro block Kabuto's chakra blade, and the blonde smiled. He knew he was right about Kimimaro after. So on that note, Naruto fell into the water with a smile on his face and passed out. Kimimaro, what are you doing, you ungrateful bastard? Are you forgetting what Orochimaru-sama has done for you? Kabuto asked while Kimimaro narrowed his eyes while he glared at the medic nin of Orochimaru. I will never forget, Kabuto-san, but I'll leave it behind. Orochimaru has no more use for me, but this mysterious blonde here. This kid has a purpose and has given me the reason to live. I will serve him now, Kimimaro said while Kabuto narrowed his eyes. The medic nin backflipped while Kimimaro blocked his path to Naruto's life and to Sasuke. No one defies Orochimaru-sama. You will regret this, Kimimaro. Don't think I can't beat you by myself. Especially with your disease acting the way it does, Kabuto said, making Kimimaro narrow his eyes. It doesn't matter anymore. I will make sure that Naruto-sama takes Sasuke back to Konoha, Kimimaro said to him. Kabuto could only chuckle at Kimimaro's ignorance and went to charge at him again. Kimimaro was ready for a fight, but soon 3 sand bullets came between the two, making Kabuto back up again, and Kimimaro turned to see who interfered with their fight. Sasuke is coming back to Konoha, Kabuto. If he doesn't do it, then I will, but I doubt you can take the both of us, Gaara said, coming down to the area. Kabuto narrowed his eyes at even more trouble and realized that this wasn't good. Taking on Kimimaro alone was one thing, but taking on Kimimaro and the Ichibi Jinchuriki was another matter. Kabuto chuckled and then laughed before settling down and adjusting his glasses. Well, this is an interesting turn of events. Don't think you've won. Sasuke will come to us whether he wants to or not, Kabuto said as he shunshined out of the area. Kimimaro sighed and so did Gaara. The last of the Kaguya clan walked over to Naruto and Sasuke, making Gaara tense, but he relaxed when Kimimaro plopped the two on his back and turned to Gaara. I'm going to take them back to Konoha. I doubt I'd make it far without some help from an outside source. I'll need either you or someone else, Kimimaro said, and Gaara looked at him with an emotionless face, but the sand user nodded and the two shot off back into the forest. It was relatively silent the entire time and maybe awkward between the two for a bit, but that was before Naruto hazily opened his eyes and realized he and Sasuke were being carried. The blonde looked to see Kimimaro and Gaara running through the forest and the blonde silently chuckled. Yep, definitely wasn't wrong about you, Naruto thought before passing back out. As Kimimaro ran through the trees, he unintentionally gave a small unnoticeable smile across his face. No one could tell, but if they looked in his eyes they would see a small warmth in them that wasn't there the time Gaara and Naruto fought Kimimaro. It didn't take that long for Gaara and Kimimaro to come up to a sight that left them confused. It was Satrilas. They saw Shikamaru panting and Temari next to him grinning. Kimimaro and Gaara came down to meet them while made Shikamaru tense at see Kimimaro. Gaara, what's going on? Why is he with you? And why is he carrying Naruto and Sasuke? Temari asked. Gaara turned to Kimimaro and looked at him for a bit before turning back to his sister. Naruto managed to change his attitude. He said he'd go back to Konoha, or rather Naruto said he would take him there, but seeing the state the blonde's in, well, you can guess, Gaara said, making Temari widened her eyes along with Shikamaru. That was just like Naruto after all. Always the unpredictable and troublesome blonde that everyone came to like. Well, at least you got Sasuke. Now we won't have to hear Sakura scream at the top of her lungs, Shikamaru said to them. Temari giggled at him, and before long Kankuro showed up with Kiba having one arm over his shoulder for support. On Kiba's head was Akamaru, who was sleeping, and on his hands was Kasumi, who changed back to her dog form and rested. I heard the entire thing. That's just like Naruto too. I can only imagine the looks on people's faces, Kiba said with a painful smile. Hey man, stop talking, you're already banged up pretty badly. Though you look nice as compared to those two, Kankuro said, staring at Naruto and Sasuke on Kimimaro's back. The Kaguya member looked down and saw Tayuya passed out on the trees. He quickly shot down to the ground and everyone followed him. Tayuya groaned while Temari grinned. Pretty good, huh? I did it myself, Temari said, holding Shikamaru and the genius Nara side while he rubbed the back of his head. Troublesome woman, you really don't know the meaning to hold back. You didn't have to do all that, you know, Shikamaru said, which earned him a S on the head. Hey, at least I knocked her out. I could have K her if I wanted to, Temari said with a pout. Oh yeah, you're a saint, Kankuro said, and was S into the ground by Temari's fan. Shut up, you clown, Temari said, which caused Kankuro's eyebrow to twitch. He shot up with Kiba still attached to his shoulder and glared at his sister. I'm not a clone and it's war paint, Kankuro yelled, and Temari huffed her annoyance. Everyone chuckled at the brother and sister duo while Kimimaro s a tree off of Tayuya's body. Kimimaro was about to grab Tayuya also, but he was interfered by Gaara, who used his sand to carry Tayuya's body. Kimimaro looked at him in confusion and Gaara just stared at him. I got a second chance. I guess you should too, Gaara said, making Kimimaro nod with appreciation. Everyone shot off for Konoha and wasted no time in trying to get there either. On the way, they had seen Kidomaru's body and Jirobo's body. Kankuro said he really disposed of Sakan's body, and Kiba could attest to that fact. Even if he didn't show it and wasn't going to show it, Kimimaro was, for the first time in a long time, he was happy. Konoha Hospital, 2 days later. Naruto groggily woke up and rubbed the back of his head. He had never been so sore and so tired. The blonde looked at the ceiling, then turned his head to see Sasuke next to him, completely out cold. Naruto-sama, you're awake, a voice said, and Naruto turned to see Kimimaro next to him in a chair. Naruto laid up from his bed and leaned his body to the wall. Kimimaro, what happened? Naruto asked. The Kaguya member patted Naruto's shoulder and stood to his feet. We got you and Sasuke back to Konoha. You really should have seen it. We had so much trouble trying to get your Hokage to believe that I changed. She fixed you up and was about to send me to prison, but I never left your side and said I would go when you woke up, Kimimaro said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. He was about to say something, but the door was opened and the blonde turned to see the very woman in the door. Tsunade lunged at Naruto and squeezed the life out of the blonde. Man, do you realize how hard it was to treat you? I'd never seen such a low case of chakra exhaustion, Tsunade said, making Naruto chuckle. She then turned her gaze to Kimimaro and narrowed her eyes. Naruto noticed it and quickly grabbed her hand. Don't try it, Tsunade barked. He's with me. I'm willing to have Kimimaro undergo a session with the interrogation department, but he does not go to prison, Naruto said in a small authoritative tone, making Tsunade widen her eyes. She then proceeded to grab Naruto's cheeks and squeeze them. Who do you think you're talking to, Gaki? Tsunade asked, making Naruto wince. She then let go and looked at Kimimaro, then at Naruto. You're really exploiting that stupid rule for clan heads, aren't you? She asked, and Naruto immediately nodded. Tsunade turned to Kimimaro, who was still sitting in his chair, and sighed. Fine, but we will have Anbu arrive first thing in the morning tomorrow to take him to Ribiki and Anko. If he speaks honestly about everything, then he can officially stay with you, Tsunade said, and Naruto nodded. He turned to Kimimaro, who nodded also, and she was about to exit the room until Kimimaro stopped her. What about Tayuya? Kimimaro asked. Tsunade narrowed her eyes and turned around. Naruto remembered the redhead and didn't know she was alive. She had the most colorful vocabulary out of anyone he had ever met. Not that he minded, it reminded him of his mother and Tsunade in a way. She's fine for the moment. We treated her so now she's only in a slight coma. She'll wake up when she wants. You're lucky though. If you were even a day late, she might have Tsunade said, making Kimimaro look at the ground. So how is everyone else? Naruto asked. Tsunade sat down in a chair and placed her hands on her lap. Haku and Choji are fine. They had a few heavy injuries and mild chakra exhaustion, but they pulled through and are resting in their rooms. Neji was a bit more severe and had heavy injuries, but he's fine also. He's still unconscious, but he'll wake up soon. And as you can see, Kasumi is fine. She's sleeping soundly next to you, Tsunade said, and Naruto looked to see the dog girl curled into a ball while her body raised and lowered from her breathing. The blonde carefully took Kasumi into his arms and grinned as he watched her adjust to the sudden warmth she felt against Naruto's body. What about Kiba and Shikamaru? Naruto asked her. Tsunade nodded and told Naruto to calm down for a few seconds. I was just getting to that. Kiba and Akamaru are also fine. They are still resting from their fight. Kiba was heavily injured and had heavy chakra exhaustion. It was a miracle he pulled through, but he made it. Shikamaru also made it out with mild injuries and mild chakra exhaustion. You were the worst case, granted that was partially my fault because you immediately had this mission after that fight with Akira a day before, so I assume you were still exhausted from that. Gaara and the others are still here simply waiting for you all to get up, Tsunade said, and Naruto nodded. She then got to her feet and walked over to Naruto. Mission accomplished, Tokubutsu Jonin, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. You managed to retrieve Sasuke Uchiha with your team. Nice work. You will all receive your pay through the week and you all have a vacation until you're able to resume duty again, Tsunade said, and Naruto nodded with a grin, but then turned to Sasuke. What about him? Naruto asked, and Tsunade turned to the last Uchiha. He's being discussed right now. We're only lucky that he didn't end up in Orochimaru's clutches. Well, Naruto, you still need to rest. Kimimaro said he would stay with you for the time being. Ofu was worried about you too. You should check with her when you're better, Tsunade said as she was about to walk out again. Wait, one more thing, Tsunade barkin, Naruto called out, and Tsunade turned around again. Naruto looked at Kimimaro and grinned. Do you think you can help Kimimaro? He told me that he has a disease and he might but I know you can heal him, so I was hoping you might be able to do something about that, Naruto told her. Tsunade looked at Naruto, then at Kimimaro, and proceeded to rub the bridge of her nose. Alright, once Kimimaro checks out with Ibiki, I'll take a look at him with Shizune and the other medic Nin. Now if you'll excuse me, have to fill out the damn paperwork for you allowing Kimimaro to stay here. Nice going, brat. Give me a break once in a while. Oh, and Naruto, once you're up there is something I need to tell you about. It was supposed to be Sarutobi-sensei's job, but he didn't get the time to do it, so it falls with me. It's about a message Kumo sent us that concerns you. I'll wait till you're better to read it to you, Tsunade said as she exited the door. Naruto chuckled even though he wondered what Kumo could want with him and laid back down on his bed. You'll get used to her in no time, Naruto said, and Kimimaro nodded absently. Something on your mind? The blonde asked, and Kimimaro turned to him, then looked out the window and looked out the window. It's different. I'm not sure how to adapt to something like this, Kimimaro said, and Naruto grinned. Don't worry, man. I'll help you out. After all, you need a guide to this place, and what better guide than me, Naruto said, making Kimimaro snort at him. Before that, you'd better get some sleep, Kimimaro said, and Naruto nodded in agreement and was about to doze off, but Kyuubi stopped him. Wait, Naruto-kun. I'm glad that you're up and all right, but could you let me out? I need to talk to you Hokage about something, Kyuubi said, and Naruto sighed. He really didn't want to get up, but he willed himself to. Kimimaro watched his blonde master get to his feet and saw Naruto cross his fingers. Chibunshin no Jutsu, Naruto yelled and made a B-clone. His hands glowed in a white light and he s it into the B-clone seal on its stomach. The light loomed brightly, but then faded and Kimimaro saw a red-haired woman in its place. Kyuubi smiled and gave Naruto a hug to show how much she missed and worried about Naruto, and the blonde hugged her back. Don't scare me like that, Kyuubi said to him. Naruto nodded with a grin and Kyuubi headed for the door. I'll be back a bit later, Kyuubi said, and walked out the door. Naruto nodded and watched her leave along with Kimimaro. The bone user looked from the door to his master and raised an eyebrow. Who was that? Kimimaro asked, and Naruto grinned. It's a long story, Naruto said, laying down. Kimimaro nodded and leaned against the wall in his chair. I'm not going anywhere, Naruto-sama, Kimimaro said, and Naruto's eyebrow twitched. He leaned up from his bed and glared at Kimimaro. What's with the Naruto-sama thing? Naruto asked. Kimimaro looked at him and simply crossed his arms while he looked up at the ceiling. I will call you that from now on. I refuse to be casual with you. I can't just be casual with you. It's impossible. Plus I'm more at peace if I address you like that, Kimimaro said, and waited for Naruto's response. The blonde looked at Kimimaro with a blank face before giving a heavy sigh while he s his head on his pillow. This is gonna take some getting used to, Naruto said to himself as he missed the smile on Kimimaro's face. It was definitely going to be interesting from here on end. Hokage Mansion. Meanwhile, Tsunade was signing and stamping papers while she talked with Jiraiya. Shizune was watching her master and mentor work while she conversed with the old pervert. It seemed that Jiraiya had some vital information and wanted to propose something. So you're saying that you want to take the brat on a 2-year training trip? Tsunade asked, signing another doent. Jiraiya nodded as he leaned on the wall. That's right. It's to keep Akatsuki from getting to him. If we keep him here, then they will most likely attack him here. So I think this will be good, and on that note will help him learn how to deal with Kyuubi's chakra. He'll be much stronger over the trip, Jiraiya said with a grin, and Tsunade sighed while going over papers. She was about to okay it, but then Kyuubi came through the door. Tsunade, Shizune, and Jiraiya could tell it was her only because Kyuubi never changed her form, so it was easy to recognize her. It was slightly still weird for them to see Kyuubi walking around, but she hadn't made any aggressive moves to Konoha, so they were relaxed about it for the most part. Sorry to interrupt, but I overheard Jiraiya-san's plan and I disagree with it, Kyuubi said, making the three look at her in surprise. Kyuubi sighed and was about to explain before Jiraiya narrowed his eyes. What do you mean you disagree? Jiraiya asked. Kyuubi nodded and began to speak. I'm saying that your 2-year training is a waste of time. It takes more than 2 years to master my chakra, and I never liked Naruto-kun using my chakra anyway since it's poisonous to you humans. The only reason Naruto-kun has such a high tolerance for it is because his chakra coils have been formed to handle it at a young age. That's why this is a waste of time. Naruto-kun is allowed my chakra anytime as long as I watch it myself to prevent him from injuring himself. And besides that, I'm going to train Naruto-kun. I've been doing it for nearly all his life, so I know him the best, Kyuubi said to them. Tsunade and Shizune could see where she was going, but Jiraiya couldn't. What do you mean? You're the reason we have to have him travel. His life could be in danger as long as he's with you. Jiraiya said, making Kyuubi look at the ground. He then covered his mouth when he saw Tsunade and Shizune glare at him. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way, Jiraiya said, and Kyuubi shook her head. No, you're right, but I trust Naruto-kun and he trusts me, so I'll do my best for him. I've got more knowledge on things more than all of you combined. I can teach Naruto-kun things that you still don't know about. While I appreciate the fact that you want to train Naruto-kun, I'm more suited to doing it. You can try and say I'm not, but the one thing that doesn't change is that I've lived much longer than any of you, so I know so much. The only way this can happen is if Naruto-kun stays in Konoha. The constant movement will add to a lose of time and he doesn't need that. I'm not asking you to let me do this. I'm letting you know I will do this. Remember, I only tolerate you because of Naruto-kun, that's it. Other than him and the Inuzuka family, I have no tolerance for any of you, Kyuubi said as she bowed and walked out the door, leaving Tsunade and Jiraiya speechless. It was Shizune who decided to break the silence. I guess she has a point, Shizune said as Tsunade s her head on the desk. This can only mean more paperwork for me. Well, Jiraiya, it looks like Kyuubi is overseeing Naruto's training. Better luck next time, Tsunade said, and immediately Jiraiya shunshined out of the room, making the papers fly all over the place. Damn it all, Tsunade yelled as Shizune left her master to her work. Tsunade sighed and s her head on the table again. Hurry up, Gaki, and take this damn job from me so I can be free. I hate this, Tsunade yelled out, making her frustration known. Naruto will now be trained by Kyuubi to increase his skills, and Tsunade could only wonder how much stronger Naruto was gonna get under the watch of Kyuubi herself. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.